Good evening. Allow me to start by introducing myself as the one they call Denise Jones. Let us now have a moment of silence for those of us who have hurt ourselves and are now in casts. Thank you. Now that you have my full attention, I will reveal exactly what happened and how I broke my ankle. Now that I have that wanker hat off, I can exactly tell you what happened. It started on a Wednesday. Wednesday morning I went to work, and I was serving this table of about 4 huge black guys and 1 really thin old guy, and I didn't realise who they were until they had actually told me after, and that they were basketball players for the Washington Wizards. And because I was such a glowing waitress, the old guy pulled me aside and said, "What's your name? You've been a really wonderful hostess and we'd like you to come along to the basketball game tonight." And I says, "Oh, I've never been to a basketball game before, so yeah, sure," like they're playing the Celtics. So I got the tickets, and then I went back to the bar and I told the person who I was working with, her name was Tracy, and she told me that, I think that guy was asking me out on a date, and I didn't believe it because the fella was nearly 70. So there was a fella that was sitting at the bar drinking all day. He was drinking Magner's cider, and he had about 8 of them throughout the whole evening, and he was the spitting image of Morgan Freeman, and he kept telling me that, "Yo, that dude asking you out on a date, he got your number, he fly, he fresh, he got your number." So he got my number, but I don't think it was a date. So what was his name? Jim, I think his name was. So I gave Jim my number, and Jim gave me his, and he texted me and said that he managed to get the tickets, which was really cool. And to avoid any kind of awkward dateness thing, I asked him, is it okay if I bring my dad? And Morgan Freeman lookalike just killed himself laughing. He was like, "You got it, girl, you fresh, you fresh." And because I'm not black, I don't really understand what that means, but anyway, moving on, finished work, had a few pints, went to the basketball with Dad, and came back to Barracuda Tavern where I work, had a few more pints, and we're drinking this stuff called rum chata in the shots. It's kind of like a cinnamony eggnog kind of beverage. It's really nice. And then Dad's housemate arrived and continued to have a couple more pints. I think I only really had 6 or 7 throughout the whole night. So went back to Dad's house at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and there was this crazy crashy noise coming from inside Dad's house, and me being me, I was like, I'll go in first, I'll sort whatever it is in there, I'll sort it out, I'll fix it. So I got in there. Boar, it was massive. It was like the size of Fitzy's head. It was just roaring about the whole apartment. And I says, "Look, just settle down. There's no need to get all hyperactive in North End. It's a relaxing kind of environment. Let's just sit down and have a cup of tea." And I fell over. The wild boar didn't even touch me. I don't know what happened. I just kind of blacked out. But I think the wild boar died. So that's what happened. But then this other time, it was the same Wednesday, and the basketball thing did happen, but I actually ended up going out with one of the basketball players, and we ended up in like an underground street fight, and like this guy was 7'5" or something like that, and he challenged me to breakdancing, so I've like fully engaged in it and tore up the dance floor, hit the guy's head, and my ankle was broken. That's another version of what happened. But I also recall that I was hand gliding in Montreal, and I crashed into a pterodactyl. But I managed to land on my right leg, but my left leg, the pterodactyl bit it. I don't know. Who wants to hear about those kind of stories anyway? Like, I ended up with a broken ankle. It's really tragic, and now I'm in a purple cast. And yeah, so that's the story. So you don't need to pull me aside and ask me what happened, because I don't want to have to repeat myself again. Okay, you can decide whichever story you want to believe: the wild boar, cage fighting, breakdancing, or the pterodactyl. It's up to you. But thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and it's good to see everybody.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Barney and Ben. Dolls that'll talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. There's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well. It's the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that'll make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. Sure, it's Christmas once more.